Welcome to the Chapter Café, where stories are steeped like strong coffee and conversations flow like ink on a page. In today's episode, Verses and Villainy, where crime meets rhyme, we're diving into the shadowy alleys of crime fiction and lyrical landscapes of poetry. From detectives tracing clues to poets tracing truth, we'll explore how suspense and sonnets can stir the soul in surprisingly similar ways. Whether you're drawn to gritty noir or delicate haiku, this is your divine lounge for unraveling mysteries and savoring metaphors. So grab your favorite brew, settle in, and let's turn the page together. First, let's dive into houseworks. Today's menu at the Chapter Café is a tantalizing trio of literary delights: appetizers, entrees, and desserts, each course pairing the intrigue of crime fiction with the elegance of poetry. First up for appetizers, these will be the savory backlist selections. Crime novels and poetic gems that may have slipped off the radar but still pack a flavorful punch. I've devoured these before and think they deserve a second serving. If you've tasted them too, let's dish. Next is entrees. This is where things get bold, a curated mix of classic and contemporary titles that might seem unconventional but are deeply satisfying. Think detective stories with poetic prose or verse that hides a mystery. These are my personal favorites, rich, layered, and worth savoring. And finally, we'll end with desserts, a sweet finish featuring fresh releases, new crime novels and poetry collections that are just hitting shelves. Its fortune favors us, we might even have a few advanced reader copies to preview. These are the treats you didn't know you were craving. So grab your fork and let your curiosity lead the way. The menu is open and every bite tells a story. Now that we've set the table, let's start with a course that's rich in suspense and spiced with intrigue. Crime fiction has long been the comfort food of thrill seekers and armchair detectives alike. Layered plots, morally complex characters, and twists that keep us turning pages long after midnight. Let's explore the appetizer section of our crime genre menu. Bite-sized thrills to whet your literary appetite. First up is Tag You're Dead, a chilling tale that plays a deadly game of cat and mouse, where the question isn't just who the villain is, but how far they'll go. With twists that snap like trapdoors, it's a perfect amuse-bouche for fans of psychological suspense. Next, The Golden Spoon is a delectable mystery served with a side of deception. Set in a high-stakes baking competition, this locked-room whodunit channels Agatha Christie vibes while stirring in modern paranoia. Motives crumble, identities shift, just try not to get burned. These titles are hidden gems, perfect for rediscovery or a first-time taste. If you've already sampled them, I'd love to hear your take. If not, they might just be your next obsession. Moving on to the entrees, first on our plate is Women Who Murder. This true crime anthology serves up real-life cases that challenge our assumptions about female perpetrators. With each story, the author peels back layers of societal bias, asking us to reconsider how we define motive, morality, and madness when women are at the center of the crime. Next, Bright Young Women, a fictional reimagining inspired by the Ted Bundy case. This novel flips the script, focusing not on the killer, but on the women whose lives intersect with violence and survival. It's a bold, character-driven dish that confronts stereotypes and reclaims narrative power. These works don't just entertain, they provoke. They ask, how does gender shape our understanding of justice, guilt, and redemption? More importantly, whose stories have we been missing? Savor these layered narratives and reflect on the voices that have too often been left out of the crime conversation. And now for our final course of desserts. First up is The Serial Killer's Apprentice, a chilling exploration into the making of a murderer. This book delves into the twisted mentorship between a seasoned killer and those who follow in his footsteps. It's a dark delicacy for readers fascinated by crime psychology and the blurred line between influence and intent. Next, College Girl Missing is a haunting mystery that begins with a simple question. How does a young woman vanish between two familiar places? Set in a seemingly safe college town, this story unravels secrets, fears, and the fragile trust we place in those closest to us. These recent releases are rich with tension and layered storytelling, perfect for readers who like their endings unpredictable and their characters unforgettable. Now that we've unraveled the mysteries and walked the shadowy corridors of crime fiction, let's shift gears and step into a quieter yet equally powerful space of poetry. While crime novels grip us with tension and plot, Poetry invites us to pause, reflect, and feel, but don't be fooled by its softness. Poetry can be just as piercing and just as provocative. In fact, some of the most haunting truths about justice, identity, and grief are found not in a courtroom scene, but in a carefully chosen word and the silences it brings. So let's trade our magnifying glass for a metaphor and explore how verse can illuminate the very themes we've been chasing: power, morality, and human psyche. Beginning with our appetizers, first up we have swimming lessons. This intimate collection dives deep into the waters of self-discovery, heartbreak, and healing. The author's verses remind us that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's a quick kind of strength. Each poem is a ripple that reaches far beyond the pages. Next is Milk and Honey, a modern classic in the world of poetry. The author is raw, resonant, and revolutionary. Through simple yet striking language, she explores womanhood, trauma, and resilience, offering readers a mirror and a balm. These poetic starters invite reflection on the many forms empowerment can take, from reclaiming identity and embracing softness as strength. As you read, consider how these voices echo your own experiences or illuminate those of the women around you. Now let's move on to the entrees, for poetry that cuts deeper, exploring the intoxicating and often corrosive nature of love. This course is themed around poisonous loves, where desire and danger can intertwine. First, in To Make Monsters Out of Girls, Amanda Lovelace writes a haunting collection examining how love can mutate, how affection can turn into obsession and tenderness into torment. Her verses are raw spells, conjuring images of heartbreak and survival. Through visceral language and emotional clarity, she invites us to confront the monsters love sometimes creates. And next, Pretty Boys Are Poisonous, Megan Fox's debut collection strips away the glamour of attraction, exposing the venom beneath the charm. Her poems are bold, unflinching, and deeply personal, challenging the myth of the beautiful savior and revealing the cost of falling for illusion. These works remind us that not all love is healing, and that poetry can be a powerful antidote to silence. As you digest these pieces, consider the ways we romanticize pain and how art can help us reclaim our narratives. And now for our final course. Desserts, poetries that capture the sweet, messy, and often bittersweet flavor of modern dating. Bones to Swipe Right To is a playful yet poignant collection exploring the thrills and vulnerability of digital romance. From first messages to ghosted goodbyes, these poems reflect the highs and heartbreaks of swiping through connection in a screenlit world. Her, Him, and I is a lyrical dive into the tangled emotions of love triangles. This collection unpacks jealousy, longing, and the blurred lines between affection and confusion. The voice is intimate and honest, capturing the ache of wanting more than one heart can possibly hold. Modern dating is a kaleidoscope of emotion, hope, heartbreak, humor, and hesitation. These collections serve as poetic snapshots of what it means to seek love in the world of algorithms and ambiguity. And that brings us to the end of today's literary feast at the Chapter Café. From the chilling corridors of crime fiction to the intimate revelations of poetry, we've explored how stories, whether sinister or soulful, help us understand the complexities of human nature. Whether you found yourself unraveling mysteries, confronting toxic love, or swiping through poetic reflections on modern dating, I hope something resonated, lingered, or sparked a new curiosity. Remember, every page is a step deeper into the empathy, insight, and imagination. So keep reading boldly, feeling deeply, and questioning everything, especially the villains and verses that shape our world. Until next time, stay curious, stay caffeinated, and keep your bookshelf just a little bit dangerous.